Look, we're on a mission right now to completely shatter this deeply ingrained illusion that just, working harder is somehow the ultimate path to wealth and freedom. We're breaking down the core concepts from Chapter 1 of a really fascinating manual called The Leverage Code by MetaFin.x. If you're a focused learner who absolutely refuses to just trade your life for a paycheck, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to deconstruct exactly how most professionals get stuck, and more importantly, the logical, structured way to get out. I want to start by asking you a stark, defining question. It's designed to aggressively challenge your basic sense of security. So brace yourself. If you stopped working tomorrow, would the money stop too? Seriously, I want you to really think about that for a second. Don't think about your savings or, how many vacation days you've rolled over. Think about the active stream of revenue coming into your life right now. If your effort drops to zero tomorrow, does the income drop to zero right along with it?
Okay, let's dive into this, because for roughly 97% of people, the honest, completely unfiltered answer to that question is yes. And hey, if you're in that 97%, I want to instantly validate your situation right now. This is absolutely not a personal failure on your part. It's just a mathematical reality for the vast majority of the working world. The entire reason the leverage code exists is to answer that single question and show you exactly how to move yourself out of that 97%.
But before we talk about how to fix it, we need a complete reframe of how you even got here. You aren't broken. You were simply shaped by an industrial-era school system. Literally, from day one, you were trained to show up, follow instructions, work hard, and get rewarded. You were trained to be an excellent, reliable employee. And that deal, it made perfect sense for a specific era of human history. The problem is, that era is over, and nobody sent you the memo. You were never taught how to be a leverage builder. Recognizing this conditioning is your very first move.
Section 1. The 4 walls of the trap. To escape a trap, you obviously have to see the bars first, right? And this brilliantly illustrates the 4 walls. The MetaFin.x manual officially documents what keeps that 97% trapped inside. People are completely unaware these invisible barriers even exist, let alone how they're perfectly designed to keep you producing for someone else's system rather than your own. So let's break these walls down one by one. Wall number 1 is single income dependency. This is having one job, one salary, one single source of revenue. If it disappears, whether from layoffs, an illness, or just a changing market, absolutely everything in your life stops. Think about it in engineering terms for a second. A system with a single point of failure is a highly fragile system. Yet, this is exactly how most people structure their entire livelihood. There's zero redundancy built into your life. The second wall is the time for money equation. This just means every single dollar you earn requires an hour of your time. The fundamental flaw here, your ceiling is entirely biological. Unless you somehow figure out how to pause time, it is physically impossible to work more than 24 hours in a day. No matter how much you optimize your schedule or hack your morning routine, your earning potential is permanently and strictly capped by the ticking clock. You literally cannot scale your time.
Wall number 3 is skill without scale. Look, you might be incredibly talented at what you do, but your expertise only produces value when you personally apply it. If you're a consultant, a designer, a writer doing custom one-on-one work, you have no scale. Having no leverage means there's zero compounding happening with your hard-earned skills. Your knowledge basically dies the exact second you take your hands off the keyboard.
And the fourth and final wall is honestly the most insidious. It's called identity lock. These are the limiting stories you tell yourself, cleverly disguised as absolute facts. It's saying things like, well, I need stability, or I'm just not the entrepreneurial type. These stories keep the door to the trap shut and bolted from the inside, even when the door itself is completely unlocked. You just can't build a new life with an old story about yourself.
Let's move on and see how this builds, because now that we've identified these invisible walls, we really need to look at the severe, compounding costs of remaining inside them. It isn't just about missing out on potential wealth. Staying in the trap extracts a massive, multi-layered toll on your entire life. You really need to feel the actual weight of this. Financially, you're trading upwards of 80,000 hours of your life for a paycheck that ends the very second you stop showing up. Temporally, that is 40 years of 40-hour weeks exchanged for income that never, ever compounds. Then you have optionality, or really, the lack of freedom. You can't take a real month off to travel, you can't fire a toxic client, and you just don't have the bandwidth to build what you actually care about. But the heaviest cost? That's psychological. It's that quiet, constant hum in the back of your mind. That nagging realization that you are capable of so much more, but you just don't know how to build it.
Now, here is the part nobody says out loud. We often equate a really high salary with success and freedom, right? But let's contrast the status quo with a totally new paradigm. The people deepest in the trap are often the absolute highest earners. Think about a doctor making $400,000 a year. They're living what most consider the ultimate dream. But if that doctor cannot take a week off without their income grinding to a complete halt, they are still completely trapped. They just happen to have a trap with much nicer upholstery.
So the crucial point is this: income isn't freedom. Systems are freedom. This is the pivotal hinge of this entire explainer. This is the moment that should permanently change the way you view a high salary. A massive paycheck inside the time for money equation is really just a bigger hamster wheel. True freedom only comes when you finally decouple your time from your earnings by building systems that work when you don't.
Section 2. The escape is not what you think.
So, now that we've seen the trap for what it actually is, the good news is that escaping it doesn't require some reckless, crazy leap. As the MetaFin.x summary points out, there is no lottery ticket here. It's absolutely not about quitting your job tomorrow and burning all your boats. It's actually a methodical process of building systems alongside your current life. It's about engineering your way out, logically and safely.
Here's the pragmatic, layered process of the escape. Step 1. You keep your current life and income totally intact. You need that stability right now. Step 2. You begin to methodically build systems alongside your job, quietly in the background on nights and weekends. Step 3. You do this for long enough that you allow compounding time to actually work its magic. And finally, Step 4. Those systems eventually generate enough value that going to your job becomes a choice rather than a strict requirement for survival. That is how you transition from an employee to a leverage builder.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today and leaves you with this final, truly provocative thought. Are you ready to stop trading your life for a paycheck? Because, look, knowing the trap exists is only step 1. The real work begins right now. What is the very first system you will build to start buying your freedom back? I want you to think about that, hold on to it, and use it to start rewriting your story today.